I'm still working on a post-normal vision of Elba and the Etruscan histories. The goal is to write an article that can challenge the established paradigm and gain recognition within the scientific community. The article should be written in Italian and proposing co-authoring with an academic personality, uh, published on Etruscan News, the journal, and regarding Monte Castello and its historical significance. The authors will argues that the perception of Elba as an island under Populonia's control primarily emerged during Roman domination, suggesting Elba's probable affiliation with a broader confederation of Etruscan states before the 3rd century BC. The paper advocates for a focused study on Monte Castello, emphasizing 4 aspects linking it to the possible residence of the Spurinas or Curunas families, very well known Etruscan family. The document discusses archaeological, geopolitical, and inscription-based evidence supporting the identification of Monte Castello as the palace of the Spurinas or Corunas. It highlights architectural traits resembling the Domus Italica Tripartita, geopolitical connections with Veltur Spurinas from the Elogia Tarquinensis inscriptions in Imperial Age from Tarquinia, the coalition against Syracuse of all the Etruscan states for Elba's possessions, not only iron, and the presence of feminine associated artifacts within the structure, mainly weights. Additionally, inscriptions bearing the name Curunas and Spurinas are cited, linking them to Etruscan entities from Vulci and Tarquinia, challenging the established belief of Elba exclusive control by Populonia. The draft for the article, that could be titled The Etruscan Residence of Procchio, a Forgotten Treasure, aims to bring attention to the ancient Etruscan residence of Procchio on Elba Island, often overlooked in archaeological discourse and in political administration and conservation. The public interest follow. It underscored the historical significance of this site, proposing it as potentially the 2nd largest Etruscan palace discovered ever to date. Despite its significance, the location currently languishes in neglect and lacks proper acknowledgement in scholarly circles. This paper will provide a historical overview of the site's discovery, mainly its misinterpretation as a medieval castle before the 70s and after as a fortress, an Etruscan military fortress, and the subsequent revelation of its Etruscan origins. It delves into the architectural and functional aspects of the residence, arguing against its identification as a fortress, but rather as a grand residence, a palace. Given the presence of residential spaces, religious areas, and spaces designated for women's activity, mainly textures. Moreover, the paper disputes prevailing scholarly interpretations by discussing the strategic location of Madonna del Monte Giove, another very important archaeological site on Elba, next to Marciana, mentioning discrepancies in interpreting its role and function. It critiques the prevailing beliefs around Elba's history, drawing attention to the nuanced evidence indicating possible interdependencies between Etruscan settlements and challenging established views of power dynamics in the region. Overall, the paper seeks to address the oversight in scholarly recognition of Monte Castello and related Etruscan sites on Elba, advocating for a reconsideration of their historical importance and positioning within the wider context of Etruscan civilization.